with the trainers and also rolling that back knee himself.
Yeah. Which I'm no doctor for sure, but the fact that they're not checking the stability of his knee and doing that suggests it's some kind of a muscle thing, or rather than the reoccurrence of the MCL thing.
So Wogan, who just hit the field goal to kick. This one should be coming back for Texas. Marcus Johnson from the 1. And Marcus Johnson across the 25 before he's brought down. And let's check in with Holly.
Well, a lot of Texas fans are anxious to know who will be the new head coach for the Longhorns. The athletic director, Steve Patterson, had a little impromptu press conference right before the game, and reports are that he said they're hoping to have somebody in place by January 15th. There's a committee in place. He said we're not actually having these people fill out applications. It's trying to be done kind of secretly, as you might guess. But they are working on it. No new news to report.
It's an 8-person advisory committee, and they've got an executive search firm called Korn and Ferry, which also was involved with actually the hiring of Steve Patterson, the athletic director. So the same group is getting together that hired him to try to find a coach. I'll say one thing. I hope 16 years from now they still have 158 wins for Texas, and they'll be sorry that Mac's on his way out. If they do better than that, all the power to them. Second down and 8. The tight end in motion. They've thrown to him when he's gone in motion, but he's dropped a couple. And this time he's going to be a blocker. They got it to Mike Davis, but only about a yard gain. Nice job by the Oregon defense. That's a first catch for number 1, and it only got him 1.
Now, partly because it was not an accurate throw. Case McCoy tried to get it to Davis quickly, but because it was not a clean throw, Davis wasn't able to catch that thing and hit upfield quickly.
So it's 3rd down and 7.
Shipley has been the go-to guy in 3rd down situations. Oregon very aware of that.
He's in the slot to the top of your screen. Davis in motion. McCoy going to go down. He throws it at the last second, and it's almost intercepted.
Well, that's a good job by the Oregon defense, but that's poor protection. That was a 3-man rush against 5 offensive linemen for Texas, and they can't protect the quarterback. McCoy tried to step up in the pocket, and a nice second effort by Tony Washington, their leading sacker, stayed with the play even though the quarterback stepped up inside of him and got the sack, or they forced incompletion.
The 4th 3 and out, and another punt, and wow, this is a beauty by Farrah. Way up in the rafters of the Alamo Dome. And Addison with a fair catch. 51-yard kick. 11:31 remaining. Marcus Mariota will see how that knee is, and the offense of the Ducks when we come back.
Here's to being one of one. A true one of a kind.
All right, let's say you're undecided about which truck to buy. Just for kicks, here's a little research project. Pick a work site, any work site, and look over the fence. Ta-da! Your next truck. Ford F-150. The truck that's #1 in the hardest working industries. Maybe because it's got the power and the fuel economy of an EcoBoost engine. It doesn't matter what they're doing on the other side of that fence. More guys count on F-150 than any other truck. Shovels down. This is the Ford F-150.
Welcome to Nissan's most memorable event of the season. Shop for something perfect for long holiday road trips, easy family get-togethers, and a smart way to stay in touch. Now get $500 holiday bonus cash, a $189 per month lease on Altima, or get a $159 per month lease on the 2013 Sentra. Hurry, bonus cash ends January 2nd. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
His comedy entertained millions of Americans, but his compassion saves children's lives worldwide. When Danny Thomas founded St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, he showed that the greatest reward is giving back. This holiday, test drive a new Mazda, and we'll pledge an hour of our time to a local charity. Buy any new Mazda during the Mazda Drive for Good event, and we'll donate $100 Children's Research Hospital or these charities. Because giving back is the Mazda way.
The 2013 Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind. And your next truck, Ford F-150.
Back in San Antonio, great host city for the Valero Alamo Bowl. And the third highest ranked team ever to play in this event is the 10th ranked Ducks of Oregon. And they've got the lead 23-7. And they start again at their own 19-yard line. Inside run this time. Only a couple gained by Thomas Tyner, checking in with Holly.
Athletic trainer Kevin Stiles spent a long time rolling out the legs of Marcus Mariota. Not just his left leg that's been injured, but the right leg too. Looks like he may be cramping. It's been rushing an awful lot.
It was a long halftime. That might have had something to do with it, but flags are down here. Penalty. And we're going to have a false start.
False start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Braylon Addison a little too anxious. And Oregon, all their penalties have been on the offense, 6 of them. But they've got 16 plays of 10 yards or more tonight. So they can get it in big chunks. Second down and 12. And this time, Mariota got away again. Throws on the run, and he throws a strike to Addison. And it's a first down.
You know, and that right there shows you the difference in Marcus Mariota and some of the other quarterbacks that have been in this Oregon offense. We've seen the running ability, the escapability, but watch this throw, stepping up on a line to the sideline. He's the best thrower that they've had in this offense to go along with his running ability.
Throwing on the previous play was a completed catch. The play is under further review.
And again, he's clutching that left hamstring or something, Todd, and he's coming to the sideline again, and maybe it's a cramp because he's going to take in as much fluid as he can while they take this play under review.
Now, sometimes when you wear a sleeve like that, and sometimes it just hard to guess, but take a look at the play. Good footwork on the sideline.
Good camera work. I think the play's good all the way.
Yeah.
Helps a little bit when you wear green shoes. Especially green and white shoes. Looked like he got both toes down. Great catch. It's a matter of whether or not maybe that he had possession over there. So Dennis Hannigan's talking to Rosie Amato up here in the replay booth. And we get the call now.
After further review, the play stands as called.
So it's first down, Oregon. And it gave Marcus Mariota a little chance to get some more fluid in his body and stretch out a little bit more on the field. Again, Lockheed's had to take a couple of snaps tonight when Marcus has had his helmet come off. He's got the chin strap re-snapped, and it's first down, Oregon at the 33. And Tyner is going to empty the backfield. They're going to flip it out to Tyner, though. Avoided a shoestring tackle, and Tyner's got another first down. Almost a nice defensive play out there on the corner, but he got through that.
Yeah, Adrian Phillips, the safety, read this quickly. He stumbled a little bit going for the tackle. Usually a very sure tackler, but that little stumble made it difficult for him to make the tackle, and Tyner with a big gain.
This time, only a couple for Byron Marshall. But again, Oregon not slowing down at all, not huddling, getting back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and about 8.
Well, the tempo has caught Texas a couple times. On the last completion to Huff, it was definitely the result of tempo.
Here's just a little underhand pitch to Marshall, and he's going to go down for a loss. Malcolm Brown, the defensive tackle, hung in there, dropped him for a loss of 5.
And I think Scott Frost and Mark Helfrich right now are kind of staying away from run situations for Marcus Mariota. They're trying to find other ways to run the football and not put it on their quarterback. But now another 3rd and long. We'll see what he does on this play.
Third down and 13. 3 receivers to his left. Nobody to the right for Mariota. And now it's an empty backfield. So here comes the quick pass again. Caught, delivered kind of high. And Texas is going to run the receiver out of bounds after a short gain. So Byron Marshall comes up short, and the punting unit comes out. So no further damage done by the Ducks offense. And Alejandro Maldonado will kick away. Jackson Shipley back deep. Remember, Deshae Johnson, academically ineligible. He would have been the punt returner tonight. He's a more dangerous guy than Shipley. Shipley very sure-handed, however. And he comes up on a fair catch and takes it around the 23-yard line. So Texas back on offense, trailing 23-7 when we come back.
Americans, we develop the things that keep our country on the move. And at Valero, we make the fuels that make them all go. Just stop by and you'll find high-quality fuel for your cars and trucks, plus great-tasting snacks and drinks for you. Everything you need to get you where you want to be, coast to coast. We're Valero, our nation's largest refiner, and we're helping keep America moving.
This is the Quicksilver Cashback card from Capital One. It's not the fumbling around with rotating categories card. It's not the getting blindsided by limits card. It's the no game playing, no earning limit having, keep bomb throwing, give me the ball and I'll take it to the house cashback card. This is the Quicksilver Cash card from Capital One. Unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere, every single day. So let me ask you, what's in your wallet?
This handle's really nice.
Yep. It's a great ride and it has great gas mileage.
Beats choosing a great ride or a great gas mileage.
It'd be like using nuts or bolts. Wonder what these nuts are for. I like and better.
Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. Now here's another great and. A new Ford Fusion for just $199 a month. Only at your local Ford dealer. Go further.
We could tell you that carrying out Domino's on a Monday will bring out the weekend you. That Domino's will make the mundane magical. Or that Domino's will make a Tuesday feel like Friday. But that would be a lie. The truth is, pizza alone won't make your weeknight special. It's what you do with it that will. So carry out a large 3-topping Domino's pizza for $7.99 only Monday through Thursday and make the most of your weeknight.
Two of the nation's most physical teams collide in a granddaddy of them all. Big Ten champion Spartans eyeing their first Rose Bowl since '88. Stanford Cardinal seeking their second consecutive Rose Bowl title. The 100th Rose Bowl game. Number 5 Stanford, number 4 Michigan State. New Year's Day. Coverage starts at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN. Tyrone Swoops is in at quarterback for the Texas Longhorns.
Well, Texas has been held without a first down on 5 of 8 possessions, trying to find some new spark for this offense.
With that, they'll keep it on the ground of Malcolm Brown, who's been their only offense, and he got a couple more before he ran into Taylor Hart again.
Swoops is expected to compete for the quarterback job next spring, along with David Ash, who was the starter this year, had the concussion problems, and a very promising freshman coming in. Gerard Hurd led his high school team to back-to-back state championships.
Swoops is a true freshman out of White-Wright, Texas. And in the shotgun on 2nd down and 8. Quarterback draw all the way. And he drew a bunch of Duck defenders after a pickup of a couple more. It'll be 3rd down and at least 6 here for the youngster. In relief of Case McCoy.
When we talked to Nick Aliotti last night, he wasn't sure. He thought his defense would play well. He was concerned about tackling because of the layoff in a bowl game. But I think he's got to be very pleased with his unit.
And Nick, again, it's his last game, announcing his retirement. Had some interesting comments about what he would do in retirement. We'll talk about that as we go through the second half. Texas 3 out of 10 on their 3rd down conversions. And on 3rd and 6, Swoops Scans the field and now dancing around, and all he can do is find a place to land. Lost a yard, and it's 4th down.
Well, as is the case with a lot of young quarterbacks, there's David Ash looking on. When you're a young quarterback and you start to think about moving in the pocket, a lot of times your eyes come off the coverage and you start looking at the guys in front of you. And that time Swoops really nowhere to go with the football.
So that experiment didn't work. That'll bring out Farah to kick. His last punt was a beauty, 51 yards. Addison might have a chance at this one. He'll take it at the 28, and he goes down at about the 25. Nice coverage by the punt coverage team for the Texas Longhorns. Holly?
Well, Mac Brown actually gave us a nice update on David Ash, the quarterback. He has been out of all but about 2.5 games this year due to that head injury. But he said he's been told that he can go full course in spring, that he'll be ready to play, and that he was also told that that injury should not be one that reoccurs naturally just with one hit, that he shouldn't have to be too careful moving forward, that it's something that they have cleared him from. So that's good news for Texas fans who are hoping to see him compete in the spring. There is also a possibility that he will apply for a redshirt year through the NCAA because of that injury that's kept him out most of the season.
They'll petition the NCAA to try to get another year back because he played very little this year.
Well, and again, as we mentioned, the slide for Texas after playing in that national championship game in '09, direct result of quarterback play.
Mariota on the run again. Whoops. I hope that knee didn't give out. He went down on his own, and he's testing it. It may not be a knee. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Left leg. We're going to put it that way.
Right.
But that time he had a lot of green in front of him, Todd, and he pulled up, or it pulled up for him.
And remember, the last couple possessions, they've strayed away from the play calls where he would run. That was a
scramble.
Yeah, that was a scramble. Yeah. And you can tell it's affecting him.
Illegal substitution, 12 players in formation, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Anthony Thomas, one too many guys out there. I think he was the one that was one too many. Mark Helfrich in his first year, 10-2. He's a first native Oregonian, I hope I said that right, to be the head coach at Oregon since John Warren in 1942. So dream job, and he's got some dream players, and one of them just got planted by Peter Jenkins. Pick up a 7 though for Marshall.
Well, they play fast and they have fast players. I mean, that's the trademark of Oregon, and so you can bottle them up, and then they explode on you for a big play.
And that time a power run by Marshall. He ran over Jenkins, and it's a 1st down Oregon.
You know, the difference in these two offenses very dramatic. For Oregon, 18 plays of 10 yards or more. For Texas, only 4. And it's hard to win football games against good teams if you don't have explosive plays. And Oregon, that's just part and parcel of how they play offense.
1st down. Mariota on the sideline throws a strike close to a 1st down to Braylon Addison again. It'll be about a yard shy. Maybe not even a yard.
One of the things with this Texas team, they have had a series of injuries. We talked about David Ash. We talked about Jonathan Gray. They've lost their 2 best linebackers earlier in the season, Jordan Hicks and Steve Edmonds.
Lost Chris Whaley, the defensive tackle, who had a huge game against Oklahoma.
They have really suffered some injuries this year, and some of the effects of that really showing here right now.
Mariota on a seam route, complete. And that's Johnny Munt, the freshman tight end, who they think might end up being a star someday. Pick up of 20.
Nice job by Mariota, just staying in the pocket, stepping up a little bit, and then finding that seam route. Again, you run vertical routes against zone defense, and you just wait for a receiver to clear defenders. Munt had a big game, had to start a game earlier this year against Tennessee. Colt Laierla was their starting tight end. He was out of action that game. Munt had 5 catches.
121 yards and a couple touchdowns. Yeah. Mariota's hit his last 5 passes. The play was stopped because Michael Thompson, the starting safety for Texas, shaken up on the play. So first down at the 33 of the Longhorns. And Thomas Tyner, the freshman tailback, back in there with Mariota. And Mariota down again the other side. And Josh Huff, tough catch. And a good throw, 23-yard pickup.
Again, just kind of another seam route against zone. So as soon as he clears an opening, Huff looks back to the quarterback, knowing once I get in this soft spot, the ball could come at any point. Mariota right on target with it.
And that's 5 catches for Huff for 104 yards. So he's getting that little bit of revenge he wanted tonight in this Valero Alamo Bowl after not being recruited by the Longhorns in his native state. Tyner. Hanging with it was Timothy Cole, who brought him down after a pickup of 4.
And we should mention, too, that Everett Benyard has settled down here. You know, he had to come in when Tyler Johnstone got hurt to play left tackle. Had a false start penalty in his first possession, but he has settled into it pretty well and is playing nicely. As a senior, called on to anchor that left side right now.
The Ducks have 447 yards of offense, and that sets a new single-season school record. Mariota to the end zone. Almost intercepted by Carrington Bynum. And it looked like Marcus kind of slipped when he threw that one again, Todd. Or maybe the leg gave him a little trouble.
Yeah, I think he was a little hesitant to plant on that front foot and transfer the weight. Kind of gingerly tried to step into that throw, and that caused him to take a little bit off of it and not get it in there for the touchdown.
So third down and goal. And normally this would be a quarterback draw threat a lot, but we don't think he wants to run quite as much, or that the coaches don't want him to run quite so much. We're going to call timeout here with 2:43 remaining. And the Ducks not wanting to waste an opportunity with a 3rd and goal. So they'll get a chance to talk it over. And with that, we'll remind you, coming up when we're done, Capital One Bowl Week continues. The Sun Devils square off against the Red Raiders in the National University Holiday Bowl, all part of Capital One Bowl Week. Arizona State number 14 against Texas Tech tonight at 10:15 on ESPN. A little over an hour from now. So third down and goal, and a chance for the head coach to talk things over with his entire offense.
I think Mark Helfrich has done an outstanding job this year. He was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. It's his 5th year on the staff at Oregon. Had a history being at Arizona State, was at Boise State, was at Colorado, has coached quarterbacks for a long time, and I think he transitioned into that head coaching job really well. And one of the things that helped him was the continuity of the staff.
Yeah.
You know, Nick Aliotti was going to retire last year, decided to stay on for Helfrich's first year. Even though Chip Kelly took one of the full-time assistants with him to Philadelphia, everybody else stayed in place, and that helped that transition a lot.
And of course, Chip's got his Eagles in the playoffs in the NFL. Mariota, whoa! I don't know if it's going to be a face mask or if he just got the top of his helmet, but he's dropped in the backfield.
There's no flag.
I don't see one.
Surprisingly, there's no flag.
And they're separating players down there. Again, there's the pump fake.
Wow, usually when you see a quarterback's head snap back like that.
Cedric Reed, I don't know, I guess maybe he just palmed his helmet like a basketball. I don't know. Everybody in the booth, including Phil Knight, thought it was a penalty, but it wasn't. And so it brings up another field goal opportunity for Matt Logan, who has hit 3 already. This will be a 32-yard attempt by the freshman.
He's almost attempted more in this game than the whole season.
And this one, no good. And that brings a roar from the Texas faithful. That one couldn't get much closer than it was. Oh, it hit the upright. I didn't even see that. I thought it went wide right.
Well, the Texas defense got a stop, aided by a no call on a penalty. And now the onus and the burden really is on the Texas offense. They've got to manufacture something here. They've got to figure out a way to get a couple chunk plays.
You know, Texas hanging in there, hanging around at 23-7 late in the third quarter, but Oregon tied 4 red zone possessions. They've got 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, and a missed field goal, so it could be a lot worse. Swoops is going to air one out for the Horns, and they got it. No, in and out of the hands of Mike Davis. Would have been all the way to the 20-yard line.
See, that's the kind of play that needs to be made for Texas. Mike Davis got enough separation. Swoops put the ball out there. They need chunk plays, and you just can't beat a team as good as Oregon if you don't capitalize when you have those opportunities.
Terrence Mitchell was there with him, but Mike Davis most of the time makes that catch. So instead of a long gainer, the 4th drop pass by the Longhorns just makes it 2nd down and 10. Bergeron, he's going to go down for a loss. Raheem Castle, who was shaken up earlier in the ball game, made the stop from his linebacker spot. And again, Case McCoy on the sideline, which swoops in to take his spot. And Texas without a first down 6 of the 9 times they've had it. And they're facing a 3rd down and long here.
You know, the last time Oregon just rushed 3, they played coverage, they confused the young quarterback. Looks like the same kind of thing coming here.
And all 3 of them are standing up. That's even more confusing. Who's coming and who's not. Bergeron trying to spin away from the traffic. He got it across the 25, close to the 27, but well short of a first down. So the offense has been number 28 tonight for Texas, and that's about it. And he's not out there right now. Here comes the punting unit. 3rd straight 3 and out. Farrah to kick, and Braylon Addison is back deep. Has 2 punt returns for touchdowns this year. Both came in the Cal game. And he's got to call a late fair catch and lost the handle. I think they're going to have a penalty for interference trying to make the catch. He was a little late on the fair catch call, but they were too close to him. John Harris was a guy down there.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Kicking team number 9. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Boy, going to give him great field possession again.
Well, the punt was dying a little bit, and that's why Harris didn't know where the football was and got too close to Addison.
And between his arms, between his legs, and he came up with it anyway. But a 15-yard walk-off is huge because it's going to put the football on the line of scrimmage in Texas territory.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a play-action deep throw right here by Oregon to try to seal the deal. 23-7. One of the last play or 2 of the 3rd quarter. Great field position and opportunity to kind of seal this one.
All 3 receivers for Mariota to his left. He goes back the other way, and he got a little bit of pressure and threw it in the turf. Byron Marshall, the intended receiver. And we're down to 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd.
Well, whatever is ailing Marcus Mariota right now, it may not be serious, but it's very uncomfortable. He doesn't look comfortable with his legs right now as he did earlier in the ball game.
Throwing or running.
Yep.
Here's Tyner. He's going to get dropped by Quandre Diggs to end the 3rd quarter. No gain on that play. But Texas is going to have to gain a lot if they're to send Mack Brown out with a victory, because at the end of 3, it's a 10th ranked team in the country up on top of the Longhorns 23-7.
The Chick-fil-A Bowl, New Year's Eve at 8 on ESPN.
This handle's really nice.
Yep. It's a great ride and it has great gas mileage.
Beats choosing a great ride or a great gas mileage.
It'd be like using nuts or bolts. Wonder what these nuts are for. I like and better.
Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. Now here's another great and. A new Ford Fusion for just $199 a month. Only at your local Ford dealer. Go further.
Seatbelts, headrests, and airbags help you survive a crash. But if you upgrade your headlights, you may even avoid one. See farther, wider, better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
McDonald's Dollar Menu and More is all about getting more. It's all your favorites and a whole lot more, like a 20-piece chicken McNuggets, just $5. More choices than ever before. That's the Dollar Menu and More.
Are you okay, Mom? Yes, I am.
Life insurance from New York Life can help your family keep good going.
These lights alert you to potential trouble. So do these. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Capital One Bull Week culminates New Year's Day. At noon on ESPN2, Nebraska battles number 22 Georgia in the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl. At 1 on ABC, 19th ranked Wisconsin tangles with number 9 South Carolina in the Capital One Bowl. And at 1 on ESPN, Iowa takes on number 16 LSU in the Outback Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week concludes New Year's Day on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC. College football.
The construction trailers are gone. The saws and the hammers have stopped. Thank goodness. And you're invited to our remodel celebration going on right now.
Hi, I'm Jim Silvera, proud to be the family store since 1954. It was looking like 1954, but not anymore.
Come see our new look. Every vehicle has been white tagged with sale prices clearly marked on the windshield. Truck buyers, J.D. Power has just awarded GMC Truck Stores the best in service customer satisfaction for all brands in the USA.
So come out and see our new look in Hillsburg.
Education can end poverty, violence, and health issues on the res. But only 5% of Indians on the reservation can afford to go to college.
It's totally free.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
We start the fourth quarter of the Valero Alamo Bowl with Oregon in front. And they've got a third down coming up. Third down and 10. Sixth time, actually, they've been third down and 10 or longer, and they haven't converted any of them so far. To open the fourth. They still don't. Anthony Thomas has to go to the ground to get that pass from Mariota. But only a 5-yard pickup.
Well, again, Mariota battling some cramps, I think, in both of his legs. Holly told us during the break. And he's just very ginger in how he's stepping into throws. I mean, if he throws that accurately, that's an easy conversion on third down.
He might still be running. Had he thrown it in front of him.
Well, he's real fast. He'd be done running by now.
Fourth down and 5. They were about 50% on their fourth down conversions this year. Mariota, and whistle blew before the play.
Ball start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Braylon Addison with a false start, the wide receiver.
Yeah, they're going to punt now. They've had a few of those tonight. You know, again, the layoff a little bit, maybe a factor.
All their penalties have been on their offense. 8 of them. He's had a big night, though. Addison and Huff. From Maldonado to punt. Jackson Shipley now runs up, expecting, I guess, a fake. He's just going to let it go again. This is the second time tonight they don't really have anybody back there. And they're going to down it at about the 2-yard line. Wow, you can't do it any better than that.
Well, Texas went for a block, so they brought extra rushers in. That's why they vacated the back end, but you got to get to the football if you're going to do that.
And they didn't, and they'll pay the price. They're going to be in a deep hole offensively when we return.
One look at the big Texas sky can leave a person speechless. That's why we also have roller coasters to balance things out just a bit. From soothing sights to thrills of all kinds, see everything this city has to offer at visitsanantonio.com.
Bringing popcorn to game day is like going for a tie. Nobody wins. Introducing Taco Bell's Variety Taco 12-pack. 6 Doritos Locos tacos and 6 classic crunchy tacos. A game day tradition since right now.
And now my journey across the country's brought me to the lovely city of Boston. Cheers. And seeing as it's such a historic city, I'm sure they'll appreciate that Geico's been saving people money for over 75 years. Oh, dear. I've dropped my tea into the Boston Harbor. I guess this party's over.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Is it better to be more reliable or less reliable?
More reliable.
Why?
So you can keep your New Year's revolution.
A New Year's revolution? Oh, no. What are you going to do?
I would have more jelly beans this year.
Oh, so it's not much of a revolt, more just like you eating things that are bad for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can deal with that.
It's not complicated. More reliable is better. Happy New Year from the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network.
Why eat nachos on the run? Maybe her parents came home early. The new grilled stuffed nacho for $1.29 at Taco Bell. Everything you love about nachos grilled up to go, fast.
A.J. McCarron looks to roll the Tide to one final victory as they take on Bob Stoops Sooners in the Big Easy. The All-State Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma, Alabama. Coverage begins Thursday at 8 on ESPN. 23-7, Oregon in front. A minute into the fourth quarter. Been some near misses tonight, Todd, for the Texas offense.
Well, when you play against a team like this, if you see single coverage and you want to take some shots, you have to take them and you got to hit a few of them. This time, Tyrone Swoops makes a beautiful throw. It's a first down throw. He puts the ball out there. This was the last possession. Mike Davis, it's a ball that he needs to come down with. It ends up incomplete, and the net result is another 3 and out for the Texas offense. And now they're way backed up in field position.
All the offense has been Malcolm Brown from the 3-yard line. Case McCoy back in there. And Brown tripped up, lost yardage. Kaylee Keepe, the senior, made the stop.
Well done. Hart does a nice job taking on the double team, and that opens the gate for Kaylee Keepe to get in there and make the play close to the end zone.
So they lost a couple. Second down at 12, and this is a dangerous spot for number 6. Davis in motion toward the ball. McCoy looking that way, and throws complete to Mike Davis. And he's going to be short of the first down, but at least they have a little bit of room to work. And the third down will be a little bit shorter. Texas has as many punts as they have points tonight. They don't want to punt here because they're running out of opportunities. They've got De La Torre, the fullback, back in there on this third down and short yardage, with Malcolm Brown, the tailback. Again, they move the tight end, and they're going to run the other way, and he got it. Malcolm Brown out to the 15. So the drive continues for Texas. What little drive there is of it, but when you're backed up to your own 3-yard line, when you get outside the 15, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the games that Oregon has lost over the last few years, it's been when teams have pushed them around a little bit and been a little bit stronger. That was the case with Stanford the last 2 years. Even though Texas has had the size advantage up front in this game, Oregon has really been up for the challenge.
Mitchell knocks Brown out of bounds. He did get a couple on the corner over there when it looked like maybe he would lose yardage. He actually gave him 3. Second down and 7. Shipley, Sanders, and Davis all in there as wide receivers. But there have been very few big pass plays tonight at all for the Longhorns and Case McCoy. And they'll keep it on the ground. And that's a tough yard. Hardrick runs into Brown at the line of scrimmage. Got about a yard out of it. And again, it brings up 3rd down.
Hardrick and Derek Malone, the 2 inside linebackers, have played well this year for Oregon. They're first-year starters, and they both replaced a pair of guys that were 3-year starters. One of those guys, Kiki Alonso, doing pretty well at the next level.
Yeah, I guess. Should be Rookie of the Year defensively in the NFL, in my opinion. 3rd down and 6. McCoy, swing pass right on the fingertips. Bergeron trying to bang his way to the first down. He might have made it. Boy, he had to break 2 tackles. And Mark Helfrich says, it's right here, a yard shy.
Yeah,
the linesman's giving him a little bit more than that, but I don't think enough.
Well, he was fighting hard for the yardage, and it looked like he might have stepped out of bounds short of the first down. Well, that's good, tough running with the ball.
Kidding. Here's a higher angle. That is really close. It is 4th down and about 2 feet. And Texas down 23-7, going for it. Second man is busting through, and it's Malcolm Brown. Easily a first down. Needed less than a yard. He got about 6.
Well, Oregon's content to let him do this. You know, I mean, they don't want to give up free yards, but more than anything, they don't want to give up an easy score or a play over their head. You know, if Texas wants to continue to run the football and get into 4th down situations, the clock, which Oregon normally doesn't worry too much about, is in their favor right now.
With 10:44 and ticking. And Texas' longest pass play tonight's been 11 yards. Let's see if they get more than that here. He might not get the pass away. He won't. Joe Walker, the outside linebacker, with a sack.
Well, Walker's going to come right through here, and Bergeron's just going to miss him. His eyes go the wrong place. He doesn't see the linebacker. He doesn't end up blocking anybody, and that one should have been picked up by Joe Bergeron, and instead, Walker fights his way through for the sack.
The second of the night for the Ducks, and it puts Texas in long yardage again. 2nd down and 20. Little draw play, almost a face mask in there as Bergeron gets a short gain, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and a bunch. Again, Malcolm Brown can't play every play. He's wanting to come back out there. And Bergeron might be shaken up, and he will come back out. We talked about some teams can get big bunches. Texas has had 9 plays in this drive, Ledge, and they got 24 yards. I mean, those are small increments to get where they are right now at the 27-yard line.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why Oregon's saying, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can keep chipping away at us like that.
Yeah, the clock's down to 9:20.
We're just not going to give up one over our heads.
3rd down and 15. McCoy moves his tight end, and in the shotgun, trying to throw on 3rd and long. Steps up, zips it down the middle, intercepted, coming the other way again. For the 2nd time tonight, this is Derek Malone. And Malone is going to score. Touchdown, Oregon. The 2nd pick 6 of the night for the Ducks defense. 38 yards, touchdown. And that might have been Texas' last chance. They'll obviously get the ball back, but now they're in a huge dilemma. They'll be down 30-7 after this extra point. which is up and just inside the left upright. 8:55 remaining in the ball game. Derek Malone, the most improved player on the Oregon defense, and an honorable mention, Pac-12 player, his second interception of the year, this one for a touchdown.
American ingenuity. That's what made us great. That's what keeps us great. As early as the automobile, we've been a nation of movers and continue to be a nation of shakers. And as our nation's largest refiner, we're here to keep that momentum going, supplying you with the quality fuel you need and the convenience to make life a little less hectic. You're only satisfied with a job well done, and so are we. We're Valero, and we're helping keep America moving.
Mine was earned orbiting the moon in 1971.
Afghanistan in 2009.
On the USS Saratoga in 1982.
Once it's earned, USAA Auto Insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve current and former military members and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
With Vonage, you can talk all you want from your home phone and your mobile phone, so calling from anywhere is just like calling from home.
So calling on the go costs the same as calling from my house?
One low monthly rate from anywhere.
You get unlimited calling?
Yes, in the U.S., to Mexico, India, and more.
I'm going to call my grandkids.
Great idea, Dada. Go to Vonage.com and get one calling plan for both of your phones.
This is crazy!
Crazy generous!
The 2013 Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by Valero, keeping America moving. USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families. And Vonage.
We've got 8:55 remaining, and unless there's a dramatic turnaround in this football game, Mac Brown's 206th game on the sidelines for Texas is not going to be a victory. But he's a surefire Hall of Famer. And his final game was against a team he knew was fast and tough, but they've scored only one touchdown offensively, but two on interception returns of Case McCoy, including that guy who just took it 38 yards for another score, and it's 30-7. So Matt Wogan's been a busy kicker as both a kick-off artist and an extra point and field goal kicker. And this one goes to the 1-yard line to Marcus Johnson. And Johnson trying to cut it outside. I'll just make it to the 20, and that's it as we go back and show you that interception.
I want to show you what happened to Case McCoy. Here's Derek Malone, and he's going to drop into coverage, and then you're going to see Case McCoy's eyes go one way and lose track. But right here, as he gets ready to scramble, his eyes are looking right here at Mike Davis all the way, and he loses track out of his blind spot where Derek Malone is. Never saw him. That's why he thought he was throwing into an open void. Instead, Derek Malone was waiting on the backside of it to not only intercept it, but take it to the end zone.
Tyrone swoops back out there after Case McCoy has thrown 2 interceptions for touchdowns. And Texas from the 20-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Bergeron's going to lose 2 or 3 yards. Got a whole flock of ducks on his back. You know, one coach is going out on a sad note. Nick Aliotti, longtime defensive coordinator, said, you know what? I quit playing football in '75 the next day, and the next year I started coaching in '76, and until Monday night, that's all I've ever done. And we said, Nick, what are you going to do? He said, well, I like to hunt birds.
Yeah.
So January 6th, he and his brother, Pete, are going, no offense, but duck hunting. And then in February, he and 12 other guys are going to Argentina to shoot some more birds. That and a golf game he says needs improving. And he's not going to shoot that duck. And also he loves playing cards.
Yep.
So those are some of the things Nick's got in mind as he approaches this spring his 60th birthday, holding on Texas. But he's one of the all-time characters, and a guy that when you get in a meeting with him.
Offense number 51, the penalty is declined. 3rd down.
When you get in a meeting with Nick, it's not only a lot of laughs, but he actually will tell you some things.
Yeah.
He told us a couple of things last night, and I won't say what they are. And he said, well, I probably shouldn't have told you that, but what are they going to do? Fire me? I'm quitting tomorrow night. They need more Nick Aliotis out there in the world, trust me.
Yeah, he's a fun guy to be around.
Swoops. Gonna run it here. And he's got good wheels and shows it. Nice run all the way out near the 45-yard line. Pick up a 25. That's about the biggest play Texas has had tonight. But it's too little and too late. Malcolm Brown has the longest play of the night of 40. And that one goes for 25 to the 45. And now Tyrone looking for a receiver. Trying to buy himself a little extra time. Throws on the run. Incomplete. Intended for Shipley.
You know, partner, as you know, I did not do a taste of the town here in San Antonio. But if I would have, it was kind of a hands-down no-brainer. It wouldn't have been at a restaurant. One of our camera guys, Eddie Rodriguez, there he is. He had our whole crew over, and his wife, Juliet, made a authentic Mexican feast last night that was unbelievable. And not just a feast, but a feast for about 40 people. And,
not easy to do.
Outstanding. I mean, no question, hands down, that would have been taste of the town. And I ate like it was taste of the town.
Yeah, I heard you did. That might have been a face mask there. I don't see a call. Second time tonight, I guess I've been seeing things on face masks against quarterbacks. Pickup of 6. So Texas has it back in Oregon territory, but running out of time. 7 minutes remaining. There's the play call. Got a little bit of burgundy. Got a Vespa there. They got Wolfman. They got everything working. Wolverine, not Wolfman. Try to get my superhero straight. 3rd down at 4. Nice protection, but he threw it too far in front of Bergeron. And it brings up 4th down again.
When you talk about this Oregon team as going forward, Mark Helfrich will begin his 2nd year next year. This is a very young football team, particularly offensively. Now they lose some guys in their defense and their defensive secondary. Of course, Alamo still has a decision to make about the NFL, but really Josh Huff is the only senior on that offense that won't be back. Mariota deciding to come back. Their center, Hronis Grasu, deciding to come back. They're a very young, talented team. Will be right in the mix next year.
Swoops with an air ball to Davis, and flags are down. Did he catch it? He did. And a penalty on the aforementioned Alamo.
Defensive back is really at a disadvantage when a ball is underthrown. That's why you see so many back shoulder throws.
Defense number 14, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And you're out there on an island with a big receiver, and you're running stride for stride, and you have no idea the ball's underthrown. And when that receiver tries to come back, it's hard to get out of the way.
And you saw it was a one-hop between the arms of Davis, who almost made an acrobatic catch, but with the penalty, they've got it at the 34-yard line. So 2 of the bigger plays tonight, a run by Swoops and a pass interference on this drive for Texas. And now Malcolm Brown trying to do his thing, and he's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Christian French and Taylor Harder there. And we're down to 6:25 to play. Don't forget Arizona State and Texas Tech follows us from San Diego. Right on cue. Number 14, Arizona State lost the Pac-12 championship on their home field. The only game they lost at home this year to the Stanford Cardinal. It will be in the Granddaddy Mall against Michigan State in the Rose Bowl. He swoops, rolling to throw, and now he's going to tuck it and get what he can. And run out of bounds after a short gain as we check in with Holly.
Well, for Mack Brown, as we've mentioned, this is his last game for Texas, but he is still the president of the AFCA, the American Football Coaches Association, so he will go to their convention and fulfill his duties there. And then he said, I'm going away. He said, I'm not going to be involved in the coaching hire. I'm not going to talk to the new coach. I want him to come in and have a clean slate to figure out the landscape himself like I did and try to heal some of these wounds at Texas. And then he said, my beautiful wife, Sally, she gets to make all the decisions from January for the next 6 months.
Yeah, Sally wasn't buying that completely. Third down, throw completes, and really close for Greg Daniels, and he might have the first down. Todd and I saw Sally down in the tunnel before the game. She had kind of a sad look on her face, obviously, after being with Mack at North Carolina and developing a program there. They made their move here in December. 16 years ago. Early December, 16 years ago, and 158 wins later. And now the final 5 minutes on the sideline for the Horns. Flags down. Probably going to have a holding call.
Well, the Texas football job is a great job. There's no question about that. They have tremendous resources, facilities, recruiting base.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
There, I finally got my face mask call.
Yeah. But in their search, they will be lucky to find somebody that over the long haul does as good of a job as Mack Brown has done here in his 16 years at Texas.
This is his 15th bowl game. He was 10-4 in bowls coming in, having won 9 of the last 11, 7 of the last 8. And this one, unfortunately, on his way out is not going to be a win. Trailing a very good Oregon team, 30-7. Swoops, pump fakes one way and rifles it the other, and diving attempt by Kendall Sanders, but it's incomplete. And good coverage over there by Terrence Mitchell.
You know, the good thing for Swoops here is you could say, well, he's in there late in the game working against backups, but he's not, because the first team Oregon defense is still on the field. So he's going against the number ones, and he's put a pretty nice drive together here.
This one looked like a little miscommunication, but he runs it inside the 5. A pickup of 7.
Similar to Swoops, David Ash is a dual threat guy. Both of them much more so than Case McCoy.
And this time Swoops is going down for a loss. Oregon played it beautifully. Rodney Hardrick, the middle linebacker, on a stop, and it's 4th down. It's funny, you look out there and you see Swoops at 6'4", 245 pounds, and you kind of see Vince Young.
Yeah.
And then you think back to the Rose Bowl National Championship. Doesn't seem like that long ago that Mack won the national title. And then Colt McCoy for 4 years as his starter. Had a shot at another one against Alabama in 2009.
Offense number 76, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And as we kind of said at the beginning of the game, there have been some misfires, some recruiting things that didn't turn out, that type of thing, and they haven't had a great quarterback since, Colt. And with that, that's how it's a quarterback-driven league even in college now.
Well, it's become
that in the NFL.
Yeah, it's become that. It's always been that way in the NFL, but it's become that way in college football now, with so much decisions made at the line of scrimmage with no huddle, the ability to be a dual threat guy. It's become a quarterback league. Just look at the Heisman winners over the last several years.
Yep.
It's not running backs anymore, it's quarterbacks.
Might be a last chance here, throwing back across his body. It's intended for Sanders and incomplete. And the Ducks will take over on downs with 3:23 remaining and a comfortable 30-7 lead.
The Capital One Bowl, Wisconsin, South Carolina, New Year's Day at 1 on ABC.
When I heard Applebee's had a big juicy steak on its under 550 calories menu, I was like, what the what? Then when I ordered it and actually tasted it, I was like, what? So yeah, I really liked Applebee's under 550 calorie Roma pepper steak. Just another reason to see you tomorrow.
Audiences are raving about Grudge Match.
You messing with me? You messing with me? No, I ain't messing with you, you geriatric.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, we're just here to buy a little dinner. You don't have to punch everything.
Grudge Match, rated PG-13, now playing.
What if a small company became big business overnight? Like really big, then expanded. Or their new product tanked. Or not? What if they embrace new technology instead? Imagine a company's future with the future of trading. Company Profile, a research tool on Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade.
And with Uverse, you can move your TV anywhere in the house.
We're happy with Xfinity. Why would we move the TV?
I don't know, but let me show you. Now, if you had the Uverse wireless receiver, you could take this anywhere. See? Anywhere you want.
Don't get duped by Uverse. Get the most entertainment on any device anywhere with Xfinity from Comcast.
Hey! Education can end poverty, violence, and health issues on the res. But only 5% of Indians on the reservation can afford to go to college.
Product shown rated E through F.
Capital One Bowl Week continues tomorrow. Triple header on ESPN. 12:30 Arizona and Boston College get together in the AdvoCare V100 Bowl. At 4, it's Rice and Mississippi State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And then Chick-fil-A Bowl will kind of ring in the new year, or take out this year anyway, as Duke and Texas A&M get together. Capital One Bowl Week continuing tomorrow. All games on ESPN.
An interesting article in the San Antonio paper this morning suggesting that Johnny Manziel said he's nowhere near making a decision about the NFL next year. A lot of people just kind of assuming that's a done deal. As some Aggie fans holding out hope, I would guess.
Ball start, offense number 77, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, if it gets to the point where he's pretty much assured that he'd be a first-round draft choice,
Yeah.
most people think that he would go.
Yep.
And this guy that's wearing number 8 out here tonight, that's soon to be our player of the game, he would have been a high pick too, but he's decided to come back, and that makes Oregon one of the favorites next year for sure, along with guys like Byron Marshall, who just ripped off another 9-yard run.
Well, again, he's a highly competitive guy, very humble guy. And so he would never really say how disappointed or upset he might have been by the so-called Heisman snub at the end of the year. But I would believe that would drive him and motivate him very strongly this offseason and into the 2014 season, leading this Oregon team.
He sure got all the tools, that's for sure. Second down and a yard. He's done running tonight, but his tailback won't be. And Marcus Mariota is our Capital One player of the game. He did it with his legs early and then started ripping some of those laser passes and ended up at this point 18 out of 26, 253 yards and a touchdown, and 133 on 15 carries tonight. So our congratulations to Marcus. And you know, Mark Helfrich is going to be 11-2 in his first season. That's not too bad.
Not bad.
Chip Kelly went 46-7 his 4 years as head coach, and now has the Eagles in the playoffs. And this guy jumped into that seat. And we said, Todd asked him yesterday, what was the biggest transition? He says, there's just a lot of stuff.
A lot more stuff. Yeah.
When you're a position coach, it's one thing. When you're a coordinator, it's another thing. When you're a head coach, there's a lot of stuff. And the 40-year-old Oregon native has handled it beautifully and put together a sensational season for this team as they're about to be 11-2.
Yeah, I think, again, I mentioned something about the continuity of the Oregon staff. It's very unique in college football because there's several assistants who have been in place through not just 2 head coaches, but 3 head coaches. Gary Campbell, the running back coach, has been at Oregon 31 years. The offensive line coach, Steve Greatwood, 27 years. The strength and conditioning coach, Jim Radcliffe, has been there 29 years. Don Pelham, linebacker coach, 21 years. That's very unusual to see a staff like that.
Again, just keeping it on the ground and close to a first down as we're down to the final minutes. Reminder, stay tuned on ESPN3 for the post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One immediately following the game. So as a first-year head coach goes out with a win, a guy that's been doing it 29 years will go out with a loss. And Mac told us yesterday, I don't want this to be a funeral or a farewell march. This should be a celebration for my kids who fought their guts out all year. And they fought tonight for their coach, but going to come up short. I've known Mac Brown for 30 years. And we go back to when he was at North Carolina, and there were some bad ACC games, and he put together a fine ACC program in North Carolina, and tonight he caps it. So we wish he and Sally and the rest of the Browns the very best in what is next. But he's a Hall of Famer. Just couldn't quite win number 245 tonight. Oregon too much and too good, and he knows it. And they win it, the Ducks, 30-7 tonight. And there's a little respect. Marcus Mariota for the hug for the coach. And as you can see by the number of cameras, there's a lot of people that think as highly of Mac Brown as Todd and Holly and I do. One of the class acts of all time in college football.
Mark Helfrich told us this week it's been like a mini coach's clinic being around Mac Brown, learning what it takes to be a head coach over the long haul, not just a 1 or 2 year wonder, but doing it over many years and doing it with class.
Mac's press conference will be on ESPN2. We've just been informed, so all of you that want to see that on ESPN2 and Sports Center, we hope you stick around for that. But the winning coach right now is with Holly.
Well, Coach Helfrich, that's your first bowl win for you as a head coach. I was wondering, is this your first Gatorade bath?
That is, and it's cold.
How was it?
It was awesome. Just our guys just battled, believed in each other, and played it. That's a great football team, and obviously a legend, an icon in football, and Mac Brown, and to go out against him, I've been saying all week, I feel like I should wear a black hat all week because I've been the bad guy in this deal, but just a full team win. You know, didn't play very cleanly in the beginning. Our defense played great. Obviously, two pick sixes. It gives us a chance, but a huge team win.
You guys talked about using this as a springboard into next season. What helped you tonight that you'll build from?
Just momentum. You know, we have a very young team. We're not allowed to say that, but we have a very young team. We had a bunch of guys early in the first half, some true freshmen make some mistakes, and they both came back and made some big plays in the second half. So just growing up.
Thank you, Coach. And hey, congrats on that bath. I love that. That's your first one.
Thanks, Holly. Appreciate it.
Well, his team put up 469 more yards of offense tonight. That sets a school record. And 20 plays of 10 yards or more, and that will get you wet as a first-year head coach. Mac Brown couldn't get one more victory for Texas, but his team gave it all they could. They lose it tonight 30-7. We'll be right back.